Hey, all you TruTakers, it is Michael coming at you with a little bit of news about the old Stadia from Google being announced. Coming at you right now! Hey, all you TruTakers, it is good to be back and at it again on some more vids for you. So if you're not in the know, Google just announced their new streaming service. We don't really know what it's gonna cost, but we do know that it is gonna be about games, all about them games, trying to stream them to every single device that you've got. We're gonna be giving you the top 9 things that we think you should know about Stadia. The good and the bad. Sorry I didn't make it even 10, all right? I like to do my own thing. I walk to the beat of my own drum. Overall, there's been some pretty mixed reactions regarding Stadia announcement. Some people are like, oh yeah, that was legit. Other people are like, you know what? You really didn't show us anything. We're gonna give you some of them pros and some of them cons. First off, let's go numero uno pro. There were some shots fired at Sony and Microsoft with them touting 10 teraflops of computing power. Technically, those are last gen consoles. This is gonna be the new next best of the best. So we are expecting an upgrade, but still a definite pro. Competition is awesome. That's caused Microsoft with the Xbox to team up a little bit with Nintendo. You know, nothing crazy, but they are releasing Cuphead, one of their exclusives, to the Switch, and it looks really good actually. Honestly, Sony really hasn't been forced to play nice hardly at all. Competition is always good. It's gonna drive Sony and Microsoft to work even harder to bring us what the best of the best is for this next generation. Numero 2. Let's be honest. They obviously see the advantage of gaming since gaming is shooting up there. Streaming is so important, especially since they bought YouTube. It's very important to that, but they don't need to. That leads me to believe that they've got some pretty seriously passionate people working on this stuff, and you could tell they had a lot of interest in what they were doing and that they really loved it. So that's kind of exciting. They got some passionate folks working on this thing. Numero 3. They mentioned that they had been speaking to developers to see directly what they needed to bring coolest of the cool games to the future so that I can game on my phone, switch to the tablet, switch to a PC, switch to anything that has Chrome browser and a remote control, even just controllers that I already have, or if I choose to get the new controller, which we're going to talk about in a second, that Stadia control. What I've noticed is that when the console maker really starts talking about the developers, that means that they really have done some research on it to see what's going to be best. If it's best for the developer, it's going to be good for us. That means it's going to be easier for the developer to make awesome games, to make things quicker. That'll end up being more bang for your buck, for my buck, and that's always good. It's worked out well for PlayStation. And PlayStation 4, they were like, hey developers, what do you need? I think you should make it a little bit more like a PC. Yeah, I think that'd be great actually. I'm gonna say, you probably didn't think of that one. Number 4, another one that might be obvious, but maybe not so obvious. Well, it is gonna be obvious. Google has the money, the infrastructure, everything they need to be a complete competitor. Exactly like Microsoft was when they first came out with the Xbox and started taking away some of the share from Sony and really became a competitor with the 360. And just like Sony was when they first started with the PlayStation and started competing with Nintendo, and obviously we know what happened to Sega and their Dreamcast. I love the Dreamcast. I loved it so much. Number 5. I have actually experienced this streaming technology work really well. I tested out the Shadow box, not the actual box, but just the program. So I didn't have an actual box in my house. It was strictly through their program, through my internet, from 10 megabits a second on up. It actually worked really smooth. I couldn't believe the lack of lag. It's not like there wasn't any input lag. There was a very tiny bit on really specific games that were really twitchy. I gotta move. I need all the frames so that I can make sure and kill these guys first. Like Counter-Strike, CSGO. That was the main one that I ended up playing, testing it out on to see how good it was. In MOBAs, RTS kind of style MOBAs, you know, League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, it worked great. I played it on the worst laptop that I had, which was a 2012 MacBook Pro. It's not a terrible laptop, but it's just not made for gaming. And it worked really well. As long as my connection was good, I even did it over Wi-Fi, and it worked great. And Shadow is not a huge company. You know, they haven't sold tons and tons of stuff. They are nothing like a Google. So it leads me to believe, even though everybody's really concerned about the lag, I too am going to be very, very suspicious until I see it for myself, but I have seen it done. So here is hope, all right? And now we come to those cons. Ew. Number one con. So a lot of the pros had to do with them being Google. Well, this con actually has to do with them being Google as well. They can afford to let something fail. Also, they don't need it not to fail. So it could suck. And guess what? They're not gonna give a crap. It won't do anything to them. They're still gonna be a powerhouse global billion-dollar business. They're basically being considered a utility at this point. They don't need it to be amazing as soon as it comes out. They're gonna need every one of us to test it out for them. It probably has a next to no chance of being actually super functional when it comes out. Number 2. This is such a lofty goal. They want to run AAA games through Wi-Fi without any real connection from wherever their data centers are and play these highly complex, very large, huge games that take years and years to make and run them all over Wi-Fi and expect it to work the whole time, no matter where you're at. And there's just a lot of countries that don't have that type of internet. And really, something on this scale, the way that they're talking about having it integrated seamlessly with YouTube, you can be watching somebody stream, have a little button, press it, next thing you know, you're playing the game right where they saved it, right where they left off. You can be invited into their game, you can be put into a queue, and everybody start playing. It's just never been done. Definitely a con. Con 3. All the demos that they showed on stage, they were kind of cool when I first saw them, and then the next thing you know, I'm like, hey, these actually don't look very good. These demos were thrown up there, which one of them they even said took them like 2 weeks to make. Okay, that's kind of impressive, but it didn't look impressive. I understand it may have been nice from a developer's point of view to hear that. That is what GDC is for the developers, but why would they show it live? They knew we were gonna see it. They knew the consumer was gonna see it. They probably should have had a little bit more flashy demos. That's all I'm saying. So they really aren't showing exactly what's gonna be there. They're not showing these concepts being realized in any real way other than the Assassin's Creed Odyssey demo where they were switching around on all of this different screens and picking up their save right on the fly from completely different things, from Chromecast all the way to a little phone to a computer that they had. But the rest of it was just a little lackluster. Con number 4. Control of the game is the backbone of a video game. If it doesn't feel good, if I can't control it the way I need to, when I'm killing that boss or shooting that other guy, then it's just not gonna be great. Now, they were, of course, saying you could use your current controller, like I mentioned earlier, but they also have their proprietary Stadia controller. Now, they were saying this thing connects directly Wi-Fi style to their data centers in order to control the game without going through your computer or your device first, then going to the game, like all the other streaming services do, like Shadow did. I just had a mouse and keyboard, or I had a controller, and I had to plug it straight into my computer in order for it to work, or I had to plug it straight into my other device, which I didn't have a plug-in for that, so I didn't test it on any other devices like that. So that's probably why they have it working this way, to connect directly to the data centers, because hopefully that's gonna make it less lag. To me, that seems like a toss-up. I'm gonna be trusting my whole game on this Wi-Fi connection or on a wired connection, and my controller on the Wi-Fi connection as well. That just seems like a whole lot of trust in connections of wirelessness. Now, they may get it working in due time. I do have a nice internet connection, so it might work nice for me. But for everybody else, it's gonna be a little weird walking around, being on a train, doing whatever you're doing, out and about. You're trying to play a game like they say you're gonna be able to play it. But as far as the controller goes, that just seems like a big leap to me. Well, that was it. That's our take. Are you gonna be into Stadia? Are you gonna be thinking you're gonna wanna play it on your phone and your tablet and all that kind of stuff? Are you just a console gamer at heart? Let us know in the comments below. Please like, please subscribe. Let us know what you all think about Stadia in those comments. It has been a pleasure being with you. TruTake out! I didn't really do it. We are coming at you. We are coming at you. We are coming at you with 9. We're coming at you with... Man, I can't count with my fingers.